Hey all my crafty friends. So today I'm doing a little bit of a different video and I'm going to be playing with our watercolors, and I am going to be using our watercolor palette here. It has tons of beautiful colors, fun things you can do with this water palette for your scrapbooking, your card making, and just for plain old crafting, which is what I'm going to do today. So I have my watercolor palette. I do have this extra acrylic palette thing. It doesn't have colors. It's actually where I've been adding colors to mix and to get certain colors that I want. So I do have that here in case I need it. But I also sometimes just use the lid of the watercolors themselves. I have a few just brushes. They're not even necessarily watercolor. When I bought them, they said they could be used for all sorts of things, including watercolor, which is why I have them. I have a jar of water, plenty of paper towels. I do have what I'm going to be painting. And if you can see that, it is a Minion. And I'm going to actually be painting this for my dad. He is obsessed with Minions, and so I thought I would try to paint it for him for his office and just go with it. We'll see what it turns out. Never done it before with a Minion, so I've actually only done a few paintings thus far anyway. And then I am going to use some Scotch masking tape to tape my paper to the table just so that it dries flat. So let's get started. Okay, so I went ahead and I taped my paper down to my table. And like I said, I did pre-draw this. And then I just took an eraser and erased my lines because they're still there. I can still see them. But when I go to paint it, you won't be able to see them as well since I erased them mostly. So now I'm just going to get all of those little pieces of eraser off. And the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to start with painting the Minion yellow. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use some of this yellow that's in here and see if that is what I want. Maybe add more water to it. When you add more water to a pigment, it's going to make the color lighter. And that's what I want, is just a light yellow. So I'm just adding more water to this, and I am going to paint over everywhere that is his skin with a light wash. A light wash just means that you are covering with a light color so that your space is wet. And I'm actually just going to go and do this little section at a time. I underestimated how big this was. Okay, so now that this is wet all over and I have my water here, I can go in now and grab some deeper yellow. And again, I'm just mixing. Let's mix it right here. So now it's a little bit of a darker. Adding more pigment, some more water. And I'm just going to go around the edges like I would if I was shading, just like if you were coloring. And because this is wet, that color is going to drag into the water. And I just want to go around everything. And it's going to seep into the other areas that have that water. Now I want it to be lighter in the inside, so that's what I'm going to leave there. So I'm just going to add some more color here to make some more light wash. I like having this palette that I can pick up, and so I'm not dripping water across my whole canvas. It is nice. So again, we're going to do that with his top of his head. We're just going to go around and add that light wash of yellow. Now, I do want to let you guys know that I am referencing a photo that I found on Pinterest. This is not me coming out of my head. I will, when I edit this video, I will put it at the beginning so you guys can see. So you will probably already saw what I'm referencing. But, yeah. Let's add some more color here. More water to this. And again, I'm just going to go to those edges and put down this darker yellow so that it will bleed into my painting. And if you notice, it's not bleeding into where there's not water. So it's not bleeding much into his glasses because there's no water there. Okay, and as this starts to dry, you're gonna see how cool that actually is. So I'm just gonna do his eyes inside this yellow. Because you can see part of the yellow skin through his eyes. And then I'm going to take this darker color and just add some shading. Okay, so you can either paint it like this, or you can use the tip of your paintbrush and just dab it. Okay. I'm going to add some more yellow here. Add more water to water it down to get that light wash. And then I'm going to go here now and do his arms and his chest around his overalls. Okay. Watercoloring is not about being perfect. It is not about being precise. It is about having fun with color. And I like to say it's about watching what the color is going to do. So again, just kind of outlining just to give it some dimension. So I'm going to tap some of that in there. Okay. Again, we're going to go whitewash our yellow. Okay. Make sure there's lots of color there. And then again, adding in that dark color and watching it bleed. Okay. Now I do want to let this dry completely before I go in with my next color. So I will let this dry and we'll be right back. Okay, so that is dry now. You can see how it has that yellow kind of faded into the light, and it gives me that shadowing on the Minion. Next, I'm going to go for his overalls here, and I've already gone ahead and mixed some color for me. So my light shade, I mixed these two, and then the next shade up, I mixed those two, and then my darkest shade, I mixed this one and this one, just so I have some gradual variation to his overalls. So I am, just like with the yellow, we're going to do a light wash. And I'm just going to go over every part of his overalls. And I just want water. I want it to be wet. Okay, I'm going to avoid this circle on his little pocket. Let's add some more water here. I probably need a little bit more color. Okay, again, just doing that light wash. And this time, when I go in to do some shading, I'm going to do it with 3 colors to show you how you can do that. Okay, again, just I want it all to be wet. Do his little pants. Okay. Oh. Perfect. Okay. Another thing that's good about letting this dry is I don't want that yellow to mix with this blue and make green. So again, I am just going to come in with this a little bit darker of a shade and do some shading. I am dragging it a little bit further into his overalls just because I want, see, I'm just tapping that and it's dragging that color everywhere there's water. Just want it give me some dimension to his overalls. Okay, and again, we're gonna do his little pocket here. And I'm actually gonna go over the whole pocket because I do want this pocket to stand out. That's an actual pocket. Okay. Okay, just dabbing in some of that color and some of these spots. And then I want to take my darkest color. Now with this one, I don't want my brush to be super wet, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to dip it in there and I'm going to press it onto my paper towel. See how it makes that bloom of color? I want to do this until it doesn't have as big of a bloom. I want it to take some of that color or the water out. And then this time I'm just going to dab that color because it's going to pool. But I don't want it to pool as much as like when I did the other color of blue. Okay, gonna do some back up here just because it's a little bit further away where his overalls come out. Do some here. Okay, do some on his pocket here. right? Not perfect. Not perfect. And if you're wanting to try some watercolor out, go find a picture on Pinterest. Search watercolor photo. You can look at it and kind of see what they've done just by looking. I mean, is mine going to be perfect? No, not at all. But that's okay. So you can also, if you need to pick up some color because you feel like, oh, maybe I did too much right there, you can pick it up a little with a paper towel. Okay, it is a little bit forgiving. Like right here, that mixed way too much into my yellow and made green, and I don't like that. So I'm going to pick up some of that blue so that it is not that way. Okay. So I'm going to let that dry, and while I'm letting that dry, I'm going to do his little goggles. Okay, again, I'm going to do kind of a wet wash, a light wash of some gray, just around his glasses and goggles. Now, am I perfect at this? No, not at all. Do you have to be perfect at this? No. I just find it relaxing to get into my craft room and do something creative. Whether that is scrapbooking, making cards, watercolors, wood crafts. I just like being creative. And it's always fun to try something new. You never know if you're good at something unless you try. So I encourage y'all to try. Right? You'll never know unless you try. So now I'm going to go in with a little bit of a darker color. And just do a little bit of shading. Little bit of dimension. Okay, just to make his goggles a little bit more than what they are. So you can also go in and wash your brush and kind of go over and pick up color, pick up that pigment and slide it around so it's not such harsh lines. So that's really harsh right there. Just soften it up. Gonna blend it out. Blending it out. Don't want it so harsh. Okay. I'm going to use some more gray. Make a light wash of gray for his shoes. And his gloves. Even though his gloves and his shoes are black, if I have this light color, it will give the illusion of highlight. Kind of same with the yellow and the blue. Start with your light colors and then go back in with your dark. Okay. So this black does not have a lot of water on it. Now just a little bit. That's too much. Too much. Too much water. I want this to be a little bit more defined. Okay. I was picking up some more pigment so that it matches my other glove. I really cannot draw hands. When I was younger, I used to draw people all the time, and I would draw them with their hands behind their back because I couldn't draw hands. And I was just like, we're just gonna avoid it altogether. Okay. That filled in a lot more than I was hoping. Well, let's try a little bit on his shoes, shall we? Like I said, I really don't know what I'm doing. I'm just faking it. Just having fun. It's always worth having fun. Try something new. Okay. So, I do want to do his tongue a red color. And if you noticed, I have been using the same size brush the whole time. You can dip in and use smaller brushes. Maybe I will when I do the rest of his mouth and his eyes. I think I will grab a smaller brush. But I am using a round brush. It's my favorite kind of brush to use. So you can just see that. Let's see if I can get closer. It is a round brush. So I am gonna go in with a very much smaller brush. I'm gonna do the pupil of the eye. And with this black, I am more or less just outlining. Okay. Beautiful. I'm gonna do a little bit outlining down here on his label for Gru. Now this palette by no means is a professional palette, okay guys? So if you are just wanting to try this out to see if it's even something you would enjoy, I highly recommend this palette because it's inexpensive. A very easy way to get started in trying out watercolor, and if you like it. You can also use water brushes, which we sell. I just happen to have a few brushes on hand that I liked using and got used to using. So that's why I do use an actual brush as opposed to the water brushes. But you could use a water brush. This looks ridiculous, guys. Outline his little teeth. Yes. Oh, this is funny. I'm gonna outline his whole mouth. Because why not, right? Okay. I'm going to do some of his hairs up here while I'm at it, while things are drying around the page. Okay, so he just has little fine hairs that come up and out of his head. Ooh. I do want to make sure that I'm getting a thin line. So depending on how you hold your brush, how fast you're going, sure, right? Okay, I'm going to start, it's very wet, by doing his glasses. Now you could take a marker or a pen and then go through and do some outlining if you wanted. This is a trick we use with like toll painting. But I'm just going to use this black ink that's watercolor as my outliner. Originally I wasn't going to outline this, but I think it's giving it something that I am outlining parts of it. So I'll probably outline his overalls as well. You see, did a little bit of a boo-boo right there, but it's okay. I'm having fun. I think this is hilarious, and I hope my dad loves it. His obsession with Minions is hilarious. We did a Minions birthday party for him a couple years ago, surprise party, and all the grandkids loved it. They loved that we were able to do that for him. Okay, so I'm going to outline his overalls. Because I feel like we're missing some of that detail in there, which I am going to go through, and I want to color his buttons a little bit different. Like, the biggest thing I think is that you can't see his pocket. And that actually is really, really bugging me. And this actually, we're gonna bring that down. Like that. If you are a professional watercolor artist, you probably have so many more tips and tricks than I do. Probably could teach me a thing or two. But like I said, I am just doing this to have fun, learn something new. I've done a few projects now. I used Father's Day as an excuse to dive into different things, because I did one for both my father-in-laws, and this one's for my dad. So I was able to do a few different fun things. I did a bumblebee, and I did a sailboat. It's my father-in-law sails. And then my other father-in-law, my husband's stepdad, has bees, honeybees. And so I did him a bee with like flowers and stuff underneath. It was fun. Hey guys, I'm getting there. What do you guys think? Just kind of doing my outlining. I think the last thing I'll have to do is his eyes. Oh my gosh, you guys, I am like loving this. Oh my gosh. Okay. So like I said, I was going to do a couple of things to his buttons here. I just wanted to give a little bit of more color. And I thought maybe adding some purple in there. And then going back with some more blue is going to give it a little bit more definition there. Same with right here. Now that it's dry, I can go in and do a little bit more highlight. Okay. I really hope my dad likes this. I mean, how could you not, right? Okay. Now his eyes are brown in the picture that I got, so we are going to go with the brown. And I'm going to outline them. And then I'm just going to bring in from the edges, kind of just drag color in towards the pupil. Drag it in towards the pupil. That way it gives them that illusion of the eyeball, right? I like how that one's lighter. Let's see if I can pick up some of that color. Yeah. We'll add a little bit more to this eye so that it is dark as well. Then I do want to add just a little bit of green in his eyes. So, I don't want my brush to be that wet, but I do want color. So I'm just dabbing it in a few spots and letting the water take control of where it goes. And I'll just give that illusion of like hazel eyes. This eye looks horrible. That's okay. Right? It's okay. Just gonna blow on that for a minute. the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to outline these eyes with black. Nope, 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 nope. I need to wait for it to dry. Okay, just going to, I would do the eye that I liked too. Just going to take that up. In fact, let's see if we can get some of that up. A little bit. A little bit. Okay, well, I guess I will put that up in a minute. Okay, I'm just going to, I want to make sure it's dry because I do want to add some splatters. Now this is a fun thing you can do with your watercolors on your scrapbooking, is I am just dipping a round brush in some water and then in some color, and I'm just going to tap it on my photo here so that I have some splatters of yellow around the page. And I'm also going to do blue. I'm going to do the dark blue. Okay. Now I am focusing on the outside, not on my actual photo, but if they get on there, I'm okay with that. Okay, so let's go back to my mini brush over here. Oh, leave that there. Doesn't want to play. Let's see. That eye is dry now. I'm going to be careful of my splatters. Just going to outline. This is not very wet. The eyeball. Okay. Okay, it's the first time I painted a minion, and this is only my fifth big painting, my fourth. I'm going to show you guys something I did recently. I did this cute flamingo, and I did a couple of cactuses. So it's fun. I encourage you to go and try out some watercolor. It's fun. It's a fun medium. It's fun to do with your kids because it's just watercolor. Yeah. So enjoy. I hope you liked this video. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you'd like to see some more card making, scrapbooking, and just art in general. I'd love for you to subscribe to my channel. Bye, guys.